The First World War, hailed as the war to end all wars, concluded in 1918, leaving behind a devastated continent and a generation scarred by unprecedented brutality. Yet, just 2 decades later, the world plunged into an even more destructive conflict. This is the story of World War II, a global cataclysm that reshaped nations, ideologies, and human history itself, told in a way that simplifies its complexities, without losing its profound significance. We begin by looking at the simmering tensions and unresolved grievances that set the stage for this titanic struggle. At the heart of post-WW2 instability lay the Treaty of Versailles. Imposed on a defeated Germany, its terms were designed to cripple the nation, demanding vast reparations, territorial losses, and severe military restrictions. This created a potent brew of national humiliation and economic despair. The Weimar Republic, Germany's nascent democracy, struggled under the weight of hyperinflation and political extremism, fostering deep resentment among its populace. This environment became fertile ground for radical ideas promising a return to national pride and strength. From this crucible of discontent emerged Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. Promising to restore German glory, repudiate Versailles, and combat communism, Hitler's charismatic speeches resonated with a populace yearning for stability and national pride. Exploiting economic hardship and political unrest, the Nazis steadily gained power, culminating in Hitler's appointment as Chancellor in 1933. He swiftly consolidated control, dismantling democratic institutions and establishing a totalitarian regime built on racial ideology and aggressive expansionism. The stage was set for a dramatic shift in European power dynamics. While Europe grappled with its demons, imperial ambitions were also stirring in Asia. Resource-poor but rapidly industrializing, Japan sought to establish itself as the dominant power in the Far East. Its quest for raw materials and strategic territory led to the invasion of Manchuria in 1931, followed by the establishment of the puppet state Manchukuo. This aggressive expansion, largely condemned by the League of Nations but met with little effective resistance, signaled a growing disregard for international law and set a dangerous precedent for future territorial grabs by revisionist powers seeking to overturn the existing world order. In Italy, Benito Mussolini, the founder of fascism, had already seized power in 1922, promising to restore the glory of the Roman Empire. His regime championed aggressive nationalism and military expansion. In 1935, Italy invaded Ethiopia, a member of the League of Nations, employing modern weaponry against a largely under-equipped defense. Despite widespread international condemnation and sanctions, the League's response proved weak and ineffective. This failure further emboldened aggressor nations, demonstrating that international bodies lacked the will to enforce their own rules, thus eroding global security and diplomatic trust. Back in Europe, Hitler began openly defying the Treaty of Versailles. In 1936, German troops reoccupied the Rhineland, a demilitarized zone. France and Britain, fearful of another major war, offered no military response. This inaction solidified Hitler's belief that the Western powers lacked the resolve to confront him. 2 years later, in 1938, Germany annexed Austria in the Anschluss, a political union forbidden by the treaty. Again, the international community, largely represented by the policy of appeasement, stood by, unwilling to risk conflict, further emboldening Hitler's expansionist plans. Hitler's next target was Czechoslovakia's Sudetenland, a region with a significant German-speaking population. Tensions soared, pushing Europe to the brink of war. In a desperate attempt to preserve peace, British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain and French Premier Édouard Daladier met with Hitler and Mussolini in Munich in September 1938. The resulting Munich Agreement ceded the Sudetenland to Germany without Czech representation. Chamberlain famously declared, "Peace for our time," but the agreement was a clear act of appeasement, sacrificing a sovereign nation in a futile hope of satisfying Hitler's insatiable demands. Despite his stated anti-communist stance, Hitler made a shocking diplomatic move in August 1939, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact with the Soviet Union. This non-aggression treaty, publicly a pledge of neutrality, secretly included protocols to divide Eastern Europe into German and Soviet spheres of influence, most notably agreeing to partition Poland. This cynical alliance stunned the world, removing the threat of a two-front war for Germany and giving the Soviets strategic depth. It cleared the path for Hitler's invasion of Poland, knowing that Britain and France, though promising support, would be unable to intervene effectively in the East. With the Soviet threat neutralized, Hitler unleashed the full might of the Wehrmacht. On September 1, 1939, German forces invaded Poland from 3 directions. This wasn't the slow, attritional warfare of World War I, it was a new doctrine, the Blitzkrieg or lightning war, employing overwhelming air power and rapid tank movements to shatter enemy defenses. Britain and France, having guaranteed Poland's independence, issued ultimatums to Germany. When these expired without a German withdrawal, they declared war on September 3, 1939. The world had once again descended into global conflict, a war that would soon engulf the entire continent. The Blitzkrieg proved devastatingly effective against the ill-prepared Polish army. German tanks, supported by Stuka dive bombers, rapidly encircled Polish forces, rendering traditional defensive lines obsolete. The Soviet Union, true to the secret pact, invaded eastern Poland on September 17, sealing Poland's fate. Within weeks, Poland fell, its territory divided between Germany and the USSR. The speed and brutality of the campaign shocked the world, demonstrating a new, terrifying form of warfare and highlighting the grim reality that appeasement had failed. This marked a brutal end to an independent nation and the grim beginning of the global conflict.